Hello, Stantonville. I am so excited to be doing this. When James asked me, I was like, man, I got to make this happen. I can't see you guys. I don't know how many are going to watch this video, but I'm very excited to be with you. We miss you guys so much. We talk about Stantonville all the time. I mean, there's not many days that go by that we don't talk about a funny memory or tell people that we lived in Selmer or our life story in some way. You guys always come up. For Rachel and I, our time at Stantonville was a blessing, and I mean that in the truest sense of the word. It was a gift. You poured into our lives. We were younger than we are now. We had so much to learn just getting married. You gave us a great job, and we loved ministering with you, being a light in the community. Those are just some of our fondest memories that we've had together in our married life, and even before, even in college. So thank you. I want to start out with a thank you. You guys mean so much to us, and we're so thankful for you. I hope I can give you a little bit of encouragement on this Wednesday. I want to tell you we're in Murfreesboro. We just moved 2 weekends ago, so we're out of West Tennessee. I'm working at Sage Hill Counseling Center as a therapist, and I got 2 more years left in my degree that I'm working on. So we're doing great. 3 kids. Max is 6, Meryl is 3, and Murphy is 1. So lots going on at home. Living the good life, you know. I wanted to read to you from Colossians chapter 1. Colossians chapter 1. This is a verse that has meant a whole lot to me really throughout most of 2020. We've had a lot of things go on, even personally for us, beyond just pandemic, and there's been some natural disasters that have hit close to home, literally, where I'm from. There's just been a lot of things going on in family and things like that. I've needed a whole lot of encouragement. Courage is really good, but you don't have it unless you are encouraged. Encourage. That's how God made us as humans. We don't just have it. We're not just courageous on our own. We have to be encouraged. And I've needed a whole lot of that this year. Me and Max, my 6-year-old son, couple months ago now, I guess, we were riding our bikes to this trail that was in our neighborhood at the time. And we got out, and the grass was getting tall. And he said, "Oh man, I hope there's no snakes out here." And the matter-of-fact person I am said, "I'm sure there's snakes out here. It's getting warmer." And it was like it's getting to springtime at that point. And his eyes got real big, and he froze, and he looked at me, and you could just see the terror in his eyes that we were about to walk into a field of snakes. And I said, "It's okay. Snakes are more afraid of you than we are of them." Classic wisdom passed through the generations. He said something that was really profound. He said, "Well, how do you know that?" And I laughed because I don't know that. I don't have any proof that snakes are more afraid of us than we are of them. I've run into a lot of snakes through the years, either landscaping or out, in the chicken coop or wherever we were. And I'm actually pretty certain I was the more scared individual than the snake. But he caught me in a moment where I said something I didn't really mean, and I said something I didn't know to be true. And it was all because I was trying to help him handle fear. Man, we get afraid a lot. And actually, God made us to be afraid. Psychologically, if people that don't have fear are very dangerous people. They'll do very stupid things, and they'll probably die young. Without fear, we're not very good in relationships. We don't see cues. We don't see that we've hurt people. Without fear, it's very dangerous. But with too much fear that hypes up into anxiety, that's really excruciating. It's torture. You who have chronic anxiety, I know what that feels like, and it is not pleasant. So God created us to see danger, to have fear, and with Scripture and with families of faith, we practice handling our fear and handling it in appropriate and life-giving ways instead of going into anxiety and control. And for men especially, a lot of rage comes out of fear, being out of control. I want to read you a few verses that have meant a lot to me in the last few months as I tried to worked on accessing my fear and doing what I think God wanted me to do with the fear. This is Colossians chapter 1, 15 through 20. And Paul's just starting out his letter to the Colossians talking about the supremacy of Jesus. The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. That phrase really stands out to me and is very important to my life and how I want to live my life. The belief that even though there's chaos around, socially we're in chaos, economically we're in chaos, spiritually we're in chaos, relationally we're in chaos, there's really not a domain of human existence that's not in utter chaos right now. And that does not mean that Jesus does not hold all things together. Jesus holds all things together. When you get up in the morning, you are walking into a day filled with not only chaos, but a world and a reality where Jesus holds all things together by the blood of the cross. He goes on, he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning and the firstborn from the dead, so that in everything he might have the supremacy. He's the most powerful. Verse 19, for God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all things. And there is our ministry and our mission. We are to be about the reconciliation of all things. And we can only do that because Jesus holds all things together. Later, Paul says that he fills all things. Jesus' presence is in all things. He is everywhere. There's not a place we go, there's not a person we talk to where the presence of Jesus is not filling the room. If we believe that, that really lowers our anxiety in certain moments. If we practice remembering that, then it transforms and changes my life. I'll speak for me. It transforms and changes my life. Powerful, powerful, powerful passage for me to remember. In him, all things hold together. The fact is, there is a lot of danger. Max reminded me of that. Like, how do you know? How do you know snakes are more afraid of me? Like, I was trying to change the fear in him, and he didn't let me because he knew it wasn't true. He's right. There's a lot of danger with snakes. There's a lot of danger with people. There's a lot of danger with natural disasters. There's a lot of danger with systemic injustice. There's a lot of danger. That's true. And it's true that Jesus holds all things together. and He fills all, and He is in all. And we are about the mission of reconciliation, reconciling to Jesus all things. I would like to end with a prayer straight from Colossians, verse 9. Paul says this, and I can relate to this prayer when I think about you guys in Stantonville. For this reason, since the day we heard about you, we've not stopped praying for you. We continually ask God to fill you with the knowledge of His will through all the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives, so that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and please Him in every way, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to His glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience in giving joyful thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of His holy people in the kingdom of light. For He has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son He loves, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. Amen.
Wonderful Savior is Jesus, my Lord.